So we're in Clovis, California, taking a look at a defective piece of pipe. This is Uponor tubing, used to be Worsbo, and you can see it right here. Sometimes it's hard to see, but you can see that spraying across there. We don't want to get too much water up here because there's already damage, but it's on the hot side. We'll go ahead and cut this out, and you can ship this out to Uponor and get their decision on this, and hopefully they'll cover this for you, and maybe even get you a whole repipe for your home. Outside of that, this inspection is done. I'm just going to button it back up. So we are still here in Clovis, California. What we did here is we just pulled out what we had to. You know, if you're familiar with the expansion tool that works with the Uponor tubing, it's a cone-shaped expander that goes inside the pipe and it opens up. And as it opens, it goes deeper and deeper into the pipe. In cutting this apart, you know, sometimes when you're really close to a fitting, if you happen to get that head too close, it'll grab the next fitting and it'll snap it, and now you've got a damaged pipe and you have to take it out anyway. So what we did is we cut the 1 inch back. The 1 inch used to be sitting over here, so we cut it back and just put one T back in there. So that's a brand new 1 by 1 by 3/4 T. The T that we took out, it was too close. We cut it right here. Plus it was bent real tight across this point. It was bent at an extreme angle, and we don't like that. And then it was cut back right here, so when you put that tool in, it would have snapped the existing, so we had to take everything out over to the old 3/4. So this is your 3/4 pipe, the yellowish. It's white, but it's stained on the inside. Brand new T with 3 rings. That's your pipe over there back. So this is all our pipe, starting at the T and the ring. That's our pipe, our T, and that's our pipe and our T, and those are our rings. This is your existing 1 inch pipe now. We just moved it over, got a couple straps back on there, so it's strapped back in place. And then we just reworked a little bit. You had pipe just kind of mishmash back and forth and around the corner. So we just made it kind of like a nice straight shot. And you'll see from the first video it's configured differently. It doesn't matter, it's all tied back in. And so 1 by 1 by 3/4 T over to 3/4, 3/4 half. Tied that 1/2 inch line back in there, 3/4 T, tied those 2 3/4 lines back together, and then you're golden. So everything is setting up right now. We're going to wait just a little bit for the, you know, it's winter time, so I mean it's not too cold up in here, but you do need to let these contract. Those rings and that pipe is contracting around the fittings and grabbing on to form a watertight seal. We want to make sure that's good, and once that's done, we'll turn the water on and test it. Outside of that, this installation is done. So last portion of this video, we took it back apart one more time. We had a piece of pipe that was connected here at this T, and it was back right here, and then the old pipe beyond that shark bite fitting was attached to it, and we turned it back on and it was leaking right at the joint. Just doing a visual, we could look in it, and it looks like multiple fractures in the line, and we've got that piece on our truck. You can't read the labeling to see what year this was installed. It's just worn off. What they're sending, you may be able to read that, but it is a 2001 new construction home, and we're a licensed plumbing contractor, so it's not like we're making up stories. But so that old pipe came all the way over and tied into a T similar to this, but in this location. We turned it on. Of course, we let it set. We know you're supposed to let this stuff set before you turn the water on, and it began leaking out of this side of the T where it was connected to the old pipe. And so I've never had that happen before, but I'm imagining if the pipe is that brittle and that defective, just expanding it may have exacerbated the whole defective pipe scenario. And that's just in my mind. You'll have to, you know, Worsbo, Uponor will have to determine that. The main thing is we're just here to do a repair, not to determine what's defective and what's covered. But it was leaking there. So we decided not to expand that old pipe again. We decided to put a shark bite coupling there, and that way you got a clean cut, and that's a push to connect fitting, so you're not expanding it. We did have to expand this one because we don't have a shark bite T with us. This one was holding. And I would imagine all the 3/4 from the same batch, or you know, probably within the same year. I highly doubt a plumber had 2 rolls of 3/4 on his truck from separate years, which means the whole house is problematic. But anyways, shark bite coupling, and then a new 3/4 T. That's your old pipe tied back in, and then just coupling right there to get the new pipe tied back in. You've seen the rest all the way back to the 1 inch behind here. You got the 3/4, 3/4 half, and then you got the 1 by 1 by 3/4. So, but that's what it looks like now. And we're going to wait a little bit before we turn the water back on. That way we can test it, make sure there's no more leaking. Outside of that, this installation is done.